Have you ever feel like your damage are lacking? Want to dominate the leaderboard on PvE? And want to always kicking ass on PvP? Don't worry guys, you are in the right video! Aloha, WhereWindsMeet players! In this video, I will explain about character gearing, along with the tips and tricks to farm it efficiently. Hopefully, this video will enlighten you on your journey in Jianghu. First and foremost, just like inner ways, if you want to build your character properly, please decide which main weapon and secondary you want to focus on first. After you find your trusted martial art style, we can proceed with the gearing. Gearing in this game, while it seems simple at a glance, there are some details that can make your character easy to play or make it really hard to play. The reason being, every set of passive buff in our gear set has different trigger criteria. So what we need from our gear set aside from good stats tuning, we also need gear sets that are easy to maintain their passive uptime. To make everything easier, I already made a chart that you guys could see for each martial art style that you can choose along with recommended stats. This is Bell Strike Splendor, and then Bell Strike Umbra, Silk Bite Jet, Silk Bite Deluge, Bamboo Cut Winds, Stone Split Mine. From this column, you might notice why there are a lot of use cases for Hawking and Eagle Rise sets. The reasons are super simple. Hawking and Eagle Rise are very easy to maintain. It's buff uptime. To trigger Hawking, we just need to do affinity damage, which at high level you will get to trigger affinity hits very often, especially if your skills are hitting enemies in rapid behavior. As for Eagle Rise, with the newly added Smart Renewal feature, Divine Craft usage at version 1.2, it's very easy to maintain Eagle Rise damage reduction buff uptime, even in bosses. Just use your Fire Oil or Toxic Powder to trigger damage over time on your enemy to maintain your Eagle Rise buff. The best way to farm your gear are through Campaign, Sword Trial, and Hero Realm. I personally farm my gear via Sword Trial daily. Sword Trial chests can give us this legendary selector pet chest for weapons. I'm not sure Campaign can drop these too, as I haven't farmed Campaign that often. I recommend you not to farm gears from outposts, because the drops are too random. After version 1.2, there are also new functions to swap our gear sets. We can even swap the sets after we are done with the tuning and attuning process. These are huge, because for some builds, like for example Silk Bandjet, which like to use Hawking and Eagle Rise but don't want to farm and open Bell Strike Umbra gear chests. Reason being, you get martial art tips based on which Sword Trial or Hero Realm chest you open or which boss you farm from your campaign. Also, don't forget to buy Tier 71 Legendary Gear Custom Chest Box from your Season Shop, which you can purchase 3 per week. Unless you are really particular with your tuning stats, you can have all your gear in Legendary tier around 2-3 weeks at most, assuming you also farm your Sword Trial. Another important thing to discuss about gearing are the tuning stats. While the stats are still going to be random, but at least we can guarantee we get the highest possible stats through newly added Tier 71 Gold tuning material in the Season Shop. And there are also legendary melodic stones, which we can get after we recycle gears with these affixes or as a byproduct from your tuning. If you get a lot of good stats in your gear tuning process, you can consider attuning your gear. How many good stats are enough to be worth attuning depends on your personal preference. I personally attune my gear if I get at least 4 good stats. Below that, I usually don't do attuning at all, until I get decent gear pieces that are worth attuning. Beware though, you have to choose between PvE attunement or PvP attunement affixes. You cannot have both stats in the same gear. Arena attunement also works for Guild Wars, so if you are active in your guild, it's worth considering rolling one gear just for that. After version 1.2, there are auto recycling feature in our bag. Let me show you how to set this up so we can focus on our gameplay instead of spending time managing our gear back. Open your menu and go to back, and then click the recycle menu, and then go to auto recycle. Then set to custom rules here. The first rule is for filtering out our extra EXP gears, purple or gold tuning material. Set the rules at tier 71 and below. Set base attribute tiers to purple and below. Set base attribute check the box to exclude selected attributes. Also check the box for include EXP when used as material. Guarantee minimum quality and maxes all attributes when used as material. Second rule is actually optional. Only use these rules if you haven't min-maxed your tier 56 and below arsenal. The rules to use are tier purple and below, level 56 and below, base attribute tier purple and below. Base attribute use excludes selected attribute rules. Check the box for include EXP when used as material. Guarantee minimum quality and maxes all attributes when used as material. And also, check the stats for your arsenal gear, like what I check here. In this example, I use Silkbind Arsenal as an example. If you are still here and listening, I will be very grateful if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you find this helpful, you can share it with all your friends. Don't forget to tap the hype button and the bell icon so you get notified with other guide videos from me. Alright, let's move on to the next section. After gearing for our builds, let's talk about Arsenal. Think of Arsenal as a system to repurpose your unused gear and repurpose them as a passive stats for our characters. To acquire lower tier gears, just buy them from the season shop. I highly suggest you to start min-maxing Arsenal from the lower tier and move your way up. Another thing to note for the Arsenal, even if the weapons or armor we store there are not the same weapon from our latest build, the stat will still be counted to the total mastery. For example, I can still store my sword in tier 61 arsenal. Recently, I switched to Silkbind Jade for solo play due to the legendary gear drops rates are kinda rare. After you understand how to manage your character arsenal, let's talk about Enhance. While it's kinda straightforward, please be careful as higher level enhancements are very expensive coin-wise. If you just want to maximize your damage and healing, I highly suggest you manage your enhance like my account. Prioritize maxing out weapon and accessories enhancement first to peak off the season and level your defensive enhancement afterwards. I always manage my enhancement this way, so I can have some coins to spare. Lastly, let's talk about martial mastery mechanics and how we can manipulate them. In some specific cases, you might actually want to deliberately reduce your mastery. In PvE, bosses actually have a mechanic to target players with the highest martial mastery if there are no Stone Split Might class present. If you want to deal bigger number of courses by having the boss not interrupting and targeting us, we can have an easier time maintaining our DPS to the boss. As for PvP, WhereWindsMeet matchup system are based on martial mastery level. So if you want to be paired with players that have lower mastery, you can just manipulate your martial mastery. Beware though, lower mastery doesn't mean they are not skilled players. The easiest way to lower your martial mastery while maintaining all other stats are by deliberately equipping a low-tier bow and bow ring. Aside from that, there are other ways like deliberately maintaining your enhancement level on defensive gear or swapping to lower-tier defensive gear. Aside from bow and bow ring trick, please do it at your own risk. So that's how you manage your gear efficiently than other players to be the Giga Goose. I hope this video could help you understand the gear system. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.